G to the M, everybody. Ready for another episode of Wake and Jake. We're it's a very green day today. I'm looking at the charts just in amazement. So very excited to talk through macro and other various stuff that we have going on for the week. As always, the show is rated NFA for not financial advice. Always make your own investment decisions. We just kind of want to help get the brain juices flowing and let you know what to take a look at, focus on some key levels, etc. for the week. Without further ado, here is my co-host here, the man himself, Mr. Jake and Bake. How are you doing today, sir? How was your weekend?
Oh man. Yeah, we're doing great. Sun's shining. Another beautiful day. Markets are green. Had a good weekend. Had a little wedding over the weekend that I went to of a friend.
Nice.
Some grass. Now ready to get back after it. Crazy weekend, obviously, with the Trump assassination attempt. I think a lot of news. We'll definitely talk through kind of some fallout from that, and maybe how that affects things in the market. On the crypto side of things, not going to give. Again, like obviously, MVHQ. We're not here for political opinions. We're just here to try and figure out what's going to happen and hopefully make some money off of the events that happen in the world and in the market. So. Yeah, man, I'm excited to get into it. How's your weekend?
It was great, man. Yeah, I went to like a little graduation for my niece. Went to the pool, ordered a grill. So yeah, man, things are looking up. A little late into the summer to start grilling, but I'm ready to just let it ride throughout the rest of the year.
I'm actually going to get a grill. I'm actually going to get a grill this week too, so I might need some grill alpha. I mean, I think I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I never ended up getting one. But I do really want to get one.
I'm definitely would consider myself an amateur, but this is the first time that I decided to go gas. I've always used charcoal grills, and it's always been a headache. So I decided, hey man, I'd rather just flip the switch, control the heat. But yes, maybe I'm not the best grill alpha guy, but definitely down to chop it up and show you the stuff that I researched just in my couple days of looking through it. We can maybe get to the bottom of it, or if anybody else has grill alpha, obviously we can carve out a little time at the end of the show to hear that. It's important stuff. But no, well said, man. Yeah, over last week we had attempted assassination on a presidential candidate and former president. Which, wherever you fall in the political spectrum, wherever you lean, you can at least recognize that this is a historic U.S. moment. And it's going to have impact one way or another. So, good shout there. We're keeping things as non-political as we can, but when a bullet hits somebody's ear during a press conference, then yeah, it's going to make waves. So we'll talk through that. We'll talk through some macro and stuff, which I'm really giddy and eager, excited to hear our new levels and stuff because it was a bit of a sweat, but we hit those levels you talked about last week, man. And not only did we hit them, but we blasted through them. So really excited to hear what your take is there, some inflows and stuff like that. So why don't you go ahead and get us kicked off with some macro. Tell us what you're seeing and what you're feeling.
Like you said, big moment, obviously, over the weekend with the Trump assassination attempts. I think, kind of the market right now is reacting as if I think it makes sense that this is certainly going to help Trump's chances of being elected president. I think there's a lot more like sympathy as well as people rallying behind something like this. And you can see it in the betting markets. You can see it in the meme coin markets. You can see it in the traditional markets. In larger crypto where everything's been pumping a bit. I think the market is certainly more favorable, especially on the crypto side of things, to Trump, with him being very pro crypto in a lot of his rhetoric and him calling himself the pro crypto candidate. He's speaking at like a Bitcoin conference soon, and as part of his one of his plans, I think he's laid out some framework around crypto and as one of the the policy changes that he plans to make when he becomes president. So obviously anything that increases his chances of being elected as president is going to be probably reflect positively on the crypto market given his stance. So I think that's what we're seeing. We talked about last week how we broke down under or the range that we've been through on Bitcoin for 3 months or so, for 4 months maybe. Um, they were kind of bouncing back and forth from under like about 59K, 60K. And it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good below there. It was looking like maybe a chance at a longer, I guess, consolidation slash bleed throughout the summer. However, we quickly retook the range, which is certainly bullish, to be able to quickly come right back into that same range that we were in. I shared a chart from Crypto Don. I'll reference him all the time, but he's one of my favorite person to look at or to track for like macro. He's been right a ton, and this is actually a really good chart to give you kind of some context, simple context on just what we're looking at. So if you just go to voice hangout chat, you can follow along with me here. What I posted. But essentially it says anything below 60K is terrible. is what he writes. And then between 60K and like 64K is good. And then above 64, like above like 64 and a half, 65K is, he says 80 plus K here. So as in like we're gonna go to 80 plus K if we get back above those levels. And right now we're in the good territory. We could be in the excellent territory really soon if we were able to get back up, 64 and a half, 65K area. So we're super close to there. So I'm feeling certainly optimistic to be able to reclaim that range. That's a good thing. But I'm not like full on bull just quite yet. I think we just have a little bit more to go to get past that next resistance area. And then we're really gonna be off to the races if we can get back above that level. But I'm not giving my hopes up quite yet. We're seeing a lot. That is one of the takes. I should say there's other takes that says we are fully back, like Web3 Quant, who I also really like. I think he's had some really nice analysis for years now. He's a great. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know about him, but he's also a great Twitter account to follow. Here's a post that he made. Again, I'm not I say this every time, but I'm not a macro expert. I don't claim to be. I just follow people who I think are, and try and listen to them on that kind of stuff. And he's basically saying we have a high time frame breakout here, and the lows that we saw were the lows, and we're entering the parabolic phase right now, which is obviously nice to hear. That'd be excellent if hoping he is right. And if we get to like 64 or 65K, then he's going to be on the same page as Don as well, and then we really will be on that parabolic phase, which would be amazing. So certainly that's what I'm rooting for. I think OGD Farmer, another one I follow, he's also very bullish right now. So a lot of good news across the board. I think we're still like, I'm still again just like I'm real close. I'm real close to like being there. But I think there's some great signs across the market. On Bitcoin, on ETH, on Sol, on memes. We can talk through that all. But yeah, just in general.
You're getting us close with this talk. Can you just say parabolic one more time, please?
Parabolic.
Also, I love his this first tweet you posted, the Crypto Don, the 70K Cope made up resistance at this point. I love that.
Yeah, the fact that I've already broken down out of that range and come back, then I think that's like we hit that again, then it's not really going to be the resistance anymore. Yeah. It's kind of what he's saying.
Totally. Yeah. I just love the way he worded it. It's yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, a couple other things on Bitcoin before transition to other stuff. We had Larry Fink on. We also, as another bull case to add to this, we had Larry Fink go on CNBC today with Jim Cramer, talking about how bullish he is on Bitcoin. But Larry Fink again is like the CEO of BlackRock, I believe, and who is the biggest asset manager in the entire world. They manage over $10 trillion in assets, and he's basically going on and saying, look, Bitcoin is a great hedge if you're worried about, inflation on not just the U.S. but across the world on different countries. If you're worried about your country's currency, Bitcoin is something that is, more uh, not as correlated as other assets from that front, and it's a great inflation hedge. Is basically what he's selling it as. And I thought Eric Balchunas had a really good take here. He's kind of quote tweeting that video, I think, where he talks about how this gives boomer financial advisors reassurance to start making crypto a staple allocation and part of like a normal portfolio distribution. Like allocating like 2 to 3 to 5% of a total portfolio in crypto is like is something that Larry Fink is basically like giving the green light towards, which is huge. I mean, that's a small amount of regular portfolio, but that's a lot more than 0%. So I think that could result in some pretty heavy upwards momentum if that becomes like the, I guess, norm for these advisors who are just like, all right, we gotta at least allocate a small amount to crypto as a hedge as part of a normal allocation. And Larry Fink kind of giving this like he's basically giving like the okay for them to do that, as a lot of financial advisors look to guys like Larry Fink for direction. So I thought that's pretty notable that he has. Again, this is like not new that Fink's going on and doing this, but the fact that he's continuing to loudly say that this is an asset class you should allocate some funds to, I think is pretty big. And we're seeing that as well in the Bitcoin ETF inflows. They picked up again last week. Actually had a really big week last week in ETF inflows, even though I feel like we didn't hear much about it. There's over $1 billion again in inflows last week. That's about like half of what the German government dumped on the market at the same time. I think we saw a lot of the dumpage was from the German government, and they did a lot of money like in a very short amount of time. It was over like 2 billion just last week that they market sold, and basically like it was like largely eaten up by these ETFs. It looks like so. That's great to see that dip got eaten up real quick. No more Bitcoin. The German government's out of Bitcoin now to sell. So, yeah, man, looking really good on the Bitcoin front so far. Hopefully, we can just get over this next little hump, and then we're looking excellent.
Beautiful. Yeah, perfect. I was going to ask for a follow-up on the Germany dumps, so I appreciate you touching on that. Any other additional thoughts there? Do you think we fared better than you had anticipated or worse? Do you think it's over? It sounds like the ETF kind of absorbed a lot of those blows, but any other thoughts just specifically on that big Germany dump we were going through?
Yeah, it's definitely over. You can track their wallet on Arkham, and they don't have any money left, so there's no more to dump.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought we fared excellent. The fact that we are up on the week, I believe, after all that dumpage. What are we up? Well, yeah, we're up 12% on the week after Germany dumped an insane amount, like over a couple billion on the market within a week's time frame. So, yeah, really, really good across the board.
Wow, you love a happy ending. And then just one more thing, on the Larry Fink tweet, just if you're not familiar with the guy, like this, you hear talking heads endorsing Bitcoin all the time, especially when things are ripping. This is not a Michael Saylor. This is not the Wonder Twins. I mean, Larry Fink has been considered the most powerful person in finance for a very long time. He took a little bit of a reputational hit with like his carbon credit initiative stuff, but I mean, the dude, there are people that think that he's like the shadow puppeteer of the whole world. Like this guy is like absolute top tier as far as powerful people in the world. So yeah, the endorsement from him is pretty insane. So just wanted to just touch on that, just an extra little emphasis in case people weren't familiar with him. It's a big guy there.
Yeah, great color there. Agreed. Yeah, so kind of transitioning on the ETH side of things, it's actually a big week for ETH as well. It is the expected time for the ETFs to go live for ETH. I forgot to pull this up. I was going to see what the Poly market had as the ETH ETF approval. Yeah, Poly market right now, the ETH ETF begins trading by July 26th, has a 94% chance. That would include next week as well. Also not a ton of volume on that, only like 42K, so not super predictive. But basically, here's another Eric Balchunas tweet. He's a Bloomberg ETF analyst. He's been like the leading source of info on the crypto ETF stuff. I've referenced him a couple times in the show. Great follow for ETF stuff. But right now, he says in this tweet a few days ago on Friday, right now it's all quiet on the Western Front with the ETH ETFs. Basically, he's wondering why the SEC is just taking their sweet ass time. All the issuers are ready. The docs are ready. It's like a rain delay in baseball. Just gotta wait. So basically, all the issuers are ready to go. They're just waiting on the SEC to approve it. They should approve it any day. They could approve it today and start trading tomorrow. That's very much within the realm of possibility. So I think across the board, people are anticipating that we'll start trading here this week. And obviously, I would say, I mean, maybe it's not obviously there's some kind of back and forth price action with Bitcoin, but I think long term, this is certainly bullish for ETH. You can just look at the Bitcoin ETF inflows. We're now up to over 15 billion of net inflows. That's including the outflows as well of net inflows of Bitcoin into these ETFs. So that's a lot of buy pressure coming on. And if we see something, even like a fraction of that with ETH ETFs, I think that's going to be a big catalyst on the price front. I think, I've seen some analysts around talking about, what do we really expect in terms of volume? They're saying around, it's hard to really quantify, but they're saying around probably like 20 to 25%. Somebody's even saying like a third of the volume that the Bitcoin ETFs are seeing. So, maybe, but also ETH is also like a third of the market cap. So you need smaller volume can still, affect price a good amount, given that the market cap's a lot smaller as well. And there's less liquidity out there too. So hopefully we see some nice price action with these ETH ETFs. I'm not 100% sure what to think short term on this. But I think like medium to long term, this is going to be really good for price of ETH.
Hell yeah, something to look forward to. I do have one hypothesis. The tweet said it's unclear why the SEC is taking their sweet ass time. I saw a headline or an article about the Coinbase SEC lawsuit. Coinbase is trying to get access to Gary Gensler's personal text messages before he was chair. They allude that he had voiced certain stances via text or via communication on his phone before he was the chair, and they want to show that in court. It doesn't look like they're going to go for it. It's funny though, the SEC lawyers argued that Gary is, quote, not an expert witness on the law, which I just thought was hilarious. But yeah, so he's probably busy just deleting all his old texts, purging his old burner phone. So maybe we'll hear from him after that.
Yeah, I don't. I hope they're able to uncover that. That'd be great. Yeah, man. Anything else on the?
I was gonna say, anytime I have a chance to dunk on Gary G, I'm gonna take it. So apologies.
Yes, sir. Oh, you're good. I'll just say not anything else from you guys on the macro front. Fib, I know you are in here, and I saw you just dropped your analysis for the week, like right before the show started, so I didn't get a chance to read it. But if you had any comments, I'll open the floor for you.
Yeah. For the most part, definitely seeing kind of similar that you are. Definitely looking a lot better than we were last week when everything with the sky was falling, I guess. But yeah, like definitely in a good spot now that we've kind of come back up in the range for both Bitcoin and ETH. But yeah, kind of technically we have a high around 63.8K that until we get like a daily close above that, we could still technically say we have like a lower high. So that's kind of the level I think everyone's watching next to see if we can kind of clear that out. I had a couple charts I thought I'd just share kind of from from my analysis, more for like educational purposes. So I had mentioned last week I was going to be watching kind of the low time frame range that ETH and Bitcoin played out, and kind of look for plays off that, as well as the higher time frame range for a potential range reclaim. And I just wanted to kind of show kind of a little throwback to some educational content I shared a while ago, like with these ranges. So it's pretty simple to draw them. You look for kind of a trending price action when it kind of first stops and retraces, and then you kind of draw the initial range off of that. Obviously, depends a little bit on the time frames. And then once you have the range, there's kind of two main things you can look for actual like actionable setups. And in this case, we kind of had both. Like you can see in that screenshot I shared, we had on the lower time frame a nice break up to like 3,200. Followed by a retest of kind of the low. I think this is a 1 hour time frame range high, so that could be kind of like your breakout retest. And it also coincided with a kind of range reclaim for that big daily time frame. That 3055 level was the range low for the daily range. So just wanted to kind of show for educational purposes like this. These ranges are helpful to identify market structure, and you can actually like look for trade setups kind of with them. Other than that, really the only notable thing I did want to share is, I guess on the ETF timing, I have this this tweet from June 29th that I don't know who the source was, but the source noted that when the forms are handed back in, this won't be the final filing. So according to this, a couple weeks ago, there could still be one last back and forth. I have no idea what it could be, but that would be obviously the only reason it wouldn't get approved like this week. So I think if there is a back and forth, it, probably more like end of the month, early August. But if not, then yeah, I think it could be as early as this week for sure. And then it's the question of, are we going to see another sell the news, or is that kind of already been priced in after the initial approvals?
Hell yeah. Appreciate the info, the charts, the educational bits. Learning something this morning. Appreciate it.
For sure.
If you guys haven't seen it yet, Jake did link Field Report, 3rd week of July, technical analysis refresh by OXFib, who was just speaking there. If you want to go check it out, he's got a lot of breakdowns, charts, and stuff for different ranges of a lot of different coins. And if you get some value from that, slap a heart on it, because that is how we take care of our content contributors. Appreciate it, OXFib.
Fib, do you have any key levels that you look into either sell or buy at? Or that you have just entered or exited recently, given off the TA?
The biggest one for ETH is definitely around, what did I say? Looking back at the chart real quick, like 3520-ish or 3500, like kind of in that area. You have the daily range midpoint and like a 4 hour range low. So that's going to be like the first real like significant resistance that will probably get at least some kind of pullback, but we're in a pretty nice uptrend right now. So I imagine we should put in a higher low off of that. But yeah, that's definitely going to be like the first kind of key level. And obviously, like I said, for Bitcoin, it's pretty close to this 63.8 kind of previous swing high. So that's kind of the first one. And then the next level after that, you've got kind of a range between 66.2 and 67. That's kind of the similar level that I'd mentioned for ETH. So those are kind of the core levels for moves up. And then if we get pullbacks, I think on ETH, the local support's going to be around like 3,200, 3,220. So you could kind of look for a bid around there if you're not in yet. And Bitcoin, really the main kind of support will be that daily range low if we get back to 60.8K right now.
Absolutely love it. Thank you, man. Appreciate the guidance for us here. Cool. Anything else on macro stuff that you guys want to talk about?
I think I'm I don't know if you'd consider this macro. I doubt it. I was going to ask a bit about the presidential meme coin, just to follow up on that, as track your bull case thesis, see if there's any changes or anything. But yeah, that does not feel like macro. So we'll pause a little bit longer here, see if anybody wants to jump in. Haven't heard you talk about Solana in a few weeks. Any thoughts, takes there?
I don't have any strong takes on Solana. It's looking really good. It continues to be the haven for meme coins this cycle. I'm still like very bullish on Solana this entire cycle. I think it'll continue to perform very well. I've given like the thesis. I think maybe earlier shows, maybe it wasn't even on a show. Honestly can't remember, but I think earlier in this cycle, just talking about how, I just think Solana it just has shed so much of its like, VC chain narrative that people had last cycle, where it was just all owned by, FTX and these big VCs on like those all-in pod guys like Chamath and all those dudes who got in on the seed round or whatever and had giant bags. I think since then, over the bear market, it's kind of become more of like a people's chain, and it has a really good narrative behind it now. And also just like similar to how, Bitcoin NFTs have really, and Bitcoin in general has really ramped up its infrastructure. I think same thing on Solana, but on a more advanced scale than where Bitcoin's at. It just kind of allows the network effect to grow, and there's a lot more to do on the chain, and a lot more ecosystems that can support each other. So I think just in general, like I'm pretty bullish on Solana. I think it's going to be like the place where newbies come in just because it's so fast and it's so cheap compared to ETH, and we're already seeing so much. Really just like a majority of like the meme coin volume happening over there. So that's kind of like my bull case on Solana. But yeah, I mean, it's faring well. It's like up 6%, same as Bitcoin and ETH right now, performing well. So yeah, I guess on the ETF front, I wouldn't expect them to be anytime this year for the Sol ETFs in terms of approval. We've only had a couple smaller issuers that have filed for them, and really it's seeming like it's not going to happen until if it would have to be like Trump get elected. It doesn't seem like it would happen under the Biden administration, is what I've seen from the ETF analysts. So yeah, that's my sole take.
Beautiful. Appreciate it. Yep. Was even going to ask about the ETF if you thought that'd be the narrative once we're done and through with ETH, if it's all eyes on Sol at that point. So yeah, appreciate the take.
Yes, sir. Yeah, not a ton to talk through today. Just a couple things. You asked about the presidential meme stuff. Yeah, they're not looking good at the moment. That's for sure. After the Trump assassination attempts, they all took quite a nosedive. I'm talking about the alternate candidate coins, mainly like the Kamala Harris coins. The whole situation with Democrats calling for Biden to step down, I think, at least this is my personal analysis of how I've been following it. There's probably other people that maybe have bag bias or whatever, but I've just seen the calls for him to step down have largely fallen away after this crisis, as Dems kind of look to figure out how to I guess game plan and respond to like what's going to happen with their campaign after the assassination attempt. I think it kind of just put a pause on those calls. In my personal opinion, I feel like that pause isn't going to last long. I would anticipate the calls to start up again within the next couple of days. I just don't see how. It just seems like even more of a discrepancy between Biden and Trump after that, and it seems like he's going to be polling worse now after this, and that Dems will want to make a change. But the betting market disagrees with me. The betting market is going the opposite way and more in favor of Biden after this. In my opinion, that's because of the pause in the calls for him to step down. Whereas I still think those are going to ramp back up. So I'm kind of going against the market, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm still holding on to my positions. I don't really want to sell now, given that. But that's kind of how I feel. It's a little bit against market. I don't know. It's not great at the moment, I'd say. I don't feel amazing about it. But that's, I guess, sort of my viewpoint. And again, I'm looking at this purely from a how can I make money from this standpoint, and not my political opinion. That's not relevant at all. It's I'm simply like trying to analyze this on how can I make money from these I guess these political events.
Yeah, beautiful. I appreciate the transparency. I'm sure our viewers do too. It's just nice to follow up, stay on top of these things. I'm curious if what your thoughts here are. Like, do you think the popularity of Trump has a sort of impact or pressure on this sort of play? I know the idea is you want to pick the person that's going to potentially replace Biden, but if it seems like, for example, just say the polls are trending towards Trump and it seems like he's going to win, does that impact all of these potential Democratic nominee tokens? Like, do they have less strength, or is the thesis just, I'm trying to pick the one that will replace Biden, and then as long as you hit that one, you're going to see the returns? Or what do you think? Because that could explain why the betting market is trending away from where your thesis is now, because it could be that they're weighing in the strength of Trump, right? Because like after this, I mean, obviously he took a big bump up, so maybe that is what is sort of pushing down all of these Democratic, just collectively all of them,
Yeah, all the Democratic coins have gotten pushed down. I definitely agree with that. I still think thesis is there of like if Biden does step down and we were able to pick the right candidate that replaces him, I still think like in time like that candidate's meme coin will see some significant returns, just given that it's like the only other option now besides just them and Trump. And I think naturally it will get some flows just because of that. But I do think I do agree that it probably dampens it a bit, given Trump's bigger odds. But yeah, on the betting market side, I was more referring to like the Democratic nominee odds of Biden have increased since that attempt.
Got it. Like it's less
I
likely
think
he
it's more
will
so.
step down. I got you.
I'm more against I'm more on the side of he will versus he won't, whereas the betting market is trending the opposite direction of what I think.
Got it. Yep, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, I appreciate the extra clarity there. Help me put the pieces together.
I did have another thing, kind of on a similar, I guess, topic of this. I'd like to start. I mean, I guess I kind of already have been doing this, but I would like to kind of maybe I think it'd be fun if I just talked about my, I don't know, maybe like biggest holding for the week or biggest like swing trade that I'm doing currently. Maybe that would, I don't know if that would help anyone, or if people want to hear that. I've heard from people that they want to hear more of like plays. Plays have been harder to come by with the shitty market that we've had, but maybe there'll be more opportunities. I've been trying to give them out more with the pirate token, my conviction on that, and then with this, obviously this Democratic nominee stuff. But I thought maybe it'd be fun to just do like one for the week and like a meme coin or NFT play for the week once hopefully NFTs get going again and I actually start trading those again.
Sounds great, dude. Yeah, I used to try to ask each week, like, how are you allocating money this week? But I've been afraid to ask because it's just been seemed like a sit on your hand month, So yeah, I think everyone would probably very very much enjoy that. So I'd love to hear it.
I'm gonna reference this as like I'm obviously I have big holdings in this. Like I'm really not trying to show my bags. I'm more so like I just want other people to have the opportunity to like look at this and like see this analysis, and you guys obviously make your own decisions, please. Like I'm not going to press the buy and sell buttons for you. Make your own decisions, please. But going off of the recent again, like Trump stuff, assassination, I think we saw a bunch of meme coins pop up after that, and the one that's really endured from that is called Fight. It's at, I think it's just under 11 million market cap at the moment. It's on a bit of a dip. I think it reached up to about 19 or 20 million last night or early this morning. And I just think it's kind of like objectively speaking, like again, not a political opinion, but like a former president, as we talked about, just got there was attempted assassination against him on live TV, and you can see, and there's pictures of him and video of him bleeding from his ear, And the first thing he says, to the crowd immediately after, and with his fist raised, is like fight, fight, right? That chant. So I think it's like kind of I'd say an iconic moment. Again, not even like personal opinion. I feel like you just kind of have to recognize that it's a bit of an iconic moment. So I just think, with that being said, this has like a lot of legs from the Trump base. We've seen so many Trump coins pump a good amount. I think this is another one that has a chance to kind of follow that framework and be, especially if it becomes a rallying cry of the base. Like I mentioned in Shitcoin chat earlier this morning, but the Republican National Committee or convention is starting today. It's this week through Thursday, where they're going to nominate officially Trump as the candidate for the Republican office or Republican Party, and Trump's going to give a big speech on Thursday, I believe it is. And I think if we see any type of like chants in the crowd of if people like start doing the fight chant, then that's going to be like a really big indicator, a bull indicator, in my opinion, for this coin. And I think it can go like, I don't know. I think it could be massive from where it is now. Again, that's just my opinion. These are shit coins. Like I change my opinion based on new information all the time. I get in and out of these positions daily, so I might not even hold this coin by next week if things don't work out. But again, I just want to give my case on the specific coin in case it helps anyone, and kind of how I'm looking at it. So I'm referring to Fight on Sol. Is the coin. It's like 11 million market cap right now.
Yeah, good shout. Chatting about it a bit in voice hangout chat. Yeah, I saw the clip with the audio. It's like the Secret Service was like pushing him off. Like as he stood up, they were like pushing him off, and he says, "Wait, wait," and he sticks his hand up. Yeah, and then does the fight line a couple times. Pretty hard, pretty iconic moment. Yeah, whether or not you like the guy or not, just real recognize real. It was gangster ass moment. You know what I mean? Like dude is being actively shot, or was being shot at, and still was like, "Nah, hold up, wait." Got to get the message out. So yeah, I think that makes it a powerful sort of meme. As I said, it seems evergreen and iconic. Again, whether or not you like the guy, it's just that you can, I think, recognize right away that it's a pretty powerful sort of message, powerful thing to get behind.
Yeah, again, it's hard, dude. It's hard because it's hard to talk about this, and because I don't want people, because it's like so emotionally charged talking about all the politics. But like I also like if I see an opportunity, I want to be able to like share it in hopes that we can hopefully take advantage of it. So just please try to keep emotions out of this and look at these from an analytical framework, I guess.
Totally, yeah. Not a fan of Bush Jr., but when he ducked the shoe and then pushed the Secret Service bag, I was like, no. Like, I got this. Like, iconic. Not a fan of Reagan, but when gunshots went off in the crowd and he goes, "You missed," iconic. You know what I mean? Like, these are just crazy U.S. moments. So, yeah, you gotta recognize it.
Also on a smaller scale, I guess if you want to play this, I don't think I will unless I see something, but Trump said he's going to announce his vice president pick today. I think, there's like a couple like coins on the biggest ones that are in the betting market, at least, that are projected to be picked as his vice president. Right now, I think it's like Doug Burgum and JD Vance are like the two front runners by a good amount as the options. I think there will likely be whoever gets picked will be a decent like pump on their meme coin. Personally, it's not one I would look to even hold past, tonight. But if you like want to try and make a degen swing play on something and you feel like you have good information versus what the market cap of the coin is, then there might be an opportunity there. I'm just calling that out. I'm not in any of them right now. I just, in case you wanted to play it, something to look at.
Hey, GM.
Yeah, that's all I got on the. Sorry, go ahead.
So I want to play a little devil's advocate and see what you think about this. Being that it looks like Trump is probably going to win, he's kind of corralled the crypto sphere, right? He's got the crypto vote probably. Does he really have to follow through on being positive for crypto now when he probably doesn't even need us to vote for him anymore? What do you think about that?
I think, I don't know like why he wouldn't continue that stance up until the election. I guess if we're looking at it from like how the market performs before the election happens. But I agree. I think, maybe once he's elected, he could certainly change his mind, right? About this stuff. But I would say at least until like election time, I don't know why he would not want all the support he can get, even if he does have a good lead.
Oh yeah, I definitely think it's post-election that we would have to worry about more than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, I would expect him to continue on that path. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way to know, right? Like who knows if politicians are ever gonna adhere to their campaign policy, right? Like we'll never know. But all we can really do is work with what we do know and expect to happen. So yeah, I think it's fair. Up until election can feel a certain way, expect a certain thing, but yeah, who knows what he's gonna actually do. But the same could be said for like any policy,
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think that's all I had on the political meme coin front.
Thank goodness, I'm sweating over here. It's hard to talk about. We just want to make money. We don't want to make enemies. Well, I got some other stuff you guys could look at for the week. We do have 3 missions that are ending in the next 7 days. Some of them are ending, or one of them is in tomorrow, but the 3 are Union. We have a Union testnet mission up, Chess, which is a chess game backed by Animoca, and then we have Incubate. And again, all 3 of these are going to be ending this week. So go hit up the MVHQ app and knock those out, get your experience and maybe some prizes along the way.
Love it. Anything else that you want to talk through, THC, or anyone else, in the community here?
Nothing burning away at me. I'd love to hear from anybody in the audience. If you guys have any topics or questions or jokes, comments, grill alpha, anything.
You actually have an interesting short report to bring up. And TopHat, I messaged you about this earlier today, but definitely been doing some digging into the Telegram network ton more recently. And THC, I know you're familiar with the game Hamster Combat, but I've entered into a short position as I think this is a prime example of a fake project. Just to give some background, Hamster Combat is a game that's on Telegram. It is nothing new. It's just a reskinned tycoon game. For those unfamiliar with the concept, you basically click to level up an asset. So you would start with like a hamster, click on the hamster, gain some XP, some coins. Once it gets to a certain level, you would like buy hamster auto clicker, and then it would auto click to level up your hamster, and you just keep leveling up your hamsters. Anywho, this Telegram game boasts that it has 300 million users, which seems unlikely given that that's higher user play than AAA titles, and the game is all about leveling up hamsters in the cryptocurrency world. So can't really imagine 300 million users all playing this one game. You go on their social media, it's all just super highly botted. They have 11 million Twitter followers. They have 30 million YouTube subscribers. Just like crazy numbers that don't make sense for the content that they're putting out. But they are selling their token pre-sale on perp markets like Bybit and Avo. The assumed supply for the price on the market right now is 10 billion. So it's trading at about a $1.96 billion valuation, which is larger than the market cap of Blast. And again, this is all for a hamster tycoon game on the Telegram network. So based on all of this fact, it seems like it's most likely a rug, most likely artificial engagement for a way for devs to dump the price. Happy to hear my other members' thoughts on it, but personally, I think it's a nice short. I am going light here because I've closed out all of my other shorts and have flipped long with Bitcoin reclaiming the 60K. It seems like crypto could pump. So, the market could still send it higher, just given I'm sure Telegram network is going to go up over the coming weeks. But I'm just anticipating at some point the devs are going to sell a crap ton of this stuff. $2 billion seems completely wrong valuation for this game wise. So I wanted to share the big short here.
Appreciate that, Ross. Yeah, I can add a bit of color just from my side from our conversation this morning. Yeah, you guys may have heard I was educated about Hamster Combat live during the show a couple weeks ago. Dug in a little bit more, and yeah, ultimately I agree with Ross's thesis there. I think the big narrative is just that on Ton there was a very profitable sort of tap game just like this called Notcoin that a lot of people cooked off of. So this very much feels like second, third wave sort of derivative iteration of that. And because of the success of the Notcoin farm, I think that this has been botted to hell, all just straight to hell. I mean, 300 million users is insane. I mean, who knows how many people are using Telegram, but I just suspect that it's probably way too easy to fire up a bot, an auto clicker bot, and try to farm this. So yeah, it seems like it's over farmed. The engagement just doesn't seem practical. Not that it doesn't seem real, it just doesn't seem possible. Like it's pretty insane. Like they have these numbers on their YouTube videos and on their tweets, and it's just it's madness. So I'm with you, man. I don't see the almost 2 billion valuation for a project like this. So I think it makes perfect sense, and it's a good shout. Also, just shout out to Toncoin. Like, what the hell, man? Like, it's been on our radar for the past couple months, but it's like it's snuck up. It's the top 10 crypto. It's got an $18 billion market cap. I mean, Toncoin is bigger than Dogecoin, Cardano, Tron, AVAX, Polkadot, Chainlink. Like, it's up there. Pretty crazy. So even earlier, while Jake was talking about Solana onboarding the normies, like I think Toncoin probably fits in that conversation as well, just because Telegram has so many users. Chain sucks in my experience. I can't get a fucking transaction to go through to save my life. But yeah, hamster combat. Any other thoughts there? Anybody want to jump in? Everyone's too busy training their hamsters. Sorry, Ross.
No, I was just gonna say in general, I think it's smart to, I think like digging in a bunch on on a niche thing like this, and if you find like some kind of like informational asymmetry to what the normal market participant sees, then I think there's usually a good play to be had there. I guess that's my only thesis. I haven't really looked into the hamster stuff, but yeah, I think in general I like the thought process behind something like that.
Yeah, I guess just to elaborate, like where my head's been at this year is that so much stuff has gotten carried that the market is very spread out. And I'm definitely a firm believer in attention economy and crypto. Again, I think we're in a bullish cycle or back into it now. So certainly not going to just be throwing shorts left and right. But when Bitcoin lost the resistance, I was able to, open up some shorts and make decent profit on chains that people aren't really using that much anymore. And you can kind of look at just the chart from June onward for a lot of these tokens that we might have airdrop farmed. They got, slaughtered. So stuff like Tensor, stuff like Layer 0, I know that's coming back up. ZK, obviously Blast just happened. But a lot of these things that people have farmed or had expectations for that might not have a lot of use case, even just older meme coins, I think they're a good candidate to look to short once the bull run is over. And for that, I think it's just scaling in, getting your positioning right. Another really good one for me is just Myro, MYRO. That was a big one during the Solana meme craze when things were just getting to insane valuations, and you were seeing like 100 mil projects every single day. That was just the founder of Solana's dog, but we haven't seen anything with that. There's really no memes associated with it at this point. It has no relevance on Twitter. I don't really see a lot of people actively involved with it. And it's at such a weird market cap where it's still worth over 100 million and, has 10+% fluctuations on a weekly basis. So it's a really great short candidate. I think they're out there. So I would just, as a shout, always be looking on the downside and for stuff that's just kind of been phased out. Because even with the massive crypto adoption, I do think we're going to see a lot of rotation into Solana, into, these strength coins and tokens that people are going to be interested in. So stuff like this, where it's just like, in my mind, it's fraud. Like they're doing Mr. Beast type levels of engagement off a Solana phone app or Telegram phone app. So, something like that, the risk reward is there for me personally.
Well said, sir. Some potential news here from WAF in chat. He's saying, seen reports JD Vance will be picked up as VP at 4:30. Jake linked the contract address, and it's up pretty heavy. Waiting to see some links or receipts about the reports, but could be interesting. Something happening.
Yeah, waiting to see some more info there. But yeah, if you want to be a degenerate, it's definitely very high risk play. Yeah, I don't really have anything else on my docket to chat through today. We're at close to the hour mark, but happy to keep going if you guys have anything you wanted to chop it up about. Oh, Ross Kangaroo asked where you can short hamster.
You can short hamster on Avo and Bybit currently.
Nice.
How'd you feel about the Dawn saying he wants to retire?
Retire crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super surprised by it. He's always been like bearish, just like crypto's long-term viability. I guess my take is we're talking about Don Alt, the guy that I reference a bunch for. Well, I look at for like macro trading. I think he's an excellent trader. I think in general, like I try to have a filter when I look for when I get information from other people. I try to look at it in a lens of, are they an expert on this specific topic? In Don's case, like he's an excellent trader. I very much listen to everything that he talks about from a macro perspective and trading coins. But when it comes to like long-term viability of crypto, like as far as I know, he like doesn't really do anything on chain, and he's never like founded a company in crypto. He's never really like been involved like on chain to like really understand use cases of crypto. Even though he's been in the space a bunch, he really just trades on a centralized exchange for the most part. So I don't know. In my opinion, like it's not as like incredibly informed opinion as much as like his opinions on the market are. I take it with I guess more of a grain of salt than I would if he said something regarding crypto, like a coin's price in the next few months, you know. So this is how I look at it in general. I try to like get my information from I try to like filter information based on what that in particular person is I guess like has a track record in. Similar to like a professional athlete giving their opinion on foreign policy. Like I'll listen to them talk about, like I'll listen to LeBron talk about, pick and roll strategy, but I don't know about like his foreign affairs. Like I don't know if he's an expert in that front. It's just like, understanding where someone's, I guess expertise lies, and like filtering out other stuff, or at least taking it a grain of salt.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then fair enough. Yeah, I wasn't super worried about, I guess, his long-term opinions, but more just like it'd be a shame if he stopped making videos and telling us stuff, because I just started following him, and he's been super helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He negotiated on behalf of his son. He might have the chops. I don't know.
I know. I probably should. Braun is really smart, so I probably shouldn't have like used him as an example. That was just the first person that came to my mind for some reason. But you guys get the gist of what I was trying to say.
Just giving you shit. Top of the hour here. What do you think? You want to field some more questions, or we feeling good for the week? I feel good. I feel rearing and ready to go.
Yeah. If there's anything else you guys want to talk through, we can talk through it for sure.
Beautiful. Well, let's just hang out a minute here, see if we get any questions in chat, or if anybody wants to unmute, give us a GM. Love to hear from you.
Perfect. Perfect on the hour mark today.
Right on the money. Getting good at this.
Sir.
It's like we do it every week or something. One shout out. We do have an AMA tomorrow that I'm going to be hosting with Shuriken, which is a trading bot and dApp. So if you're free, it'd be 6 p.m. Eastern. Swing through. Ono is on the team, who's the MVHQ OG, and I believe she'll be there. But either way, it should be a really good one. I've used Shuriken and been a fan of it in the past, but eager to hear what they have going on, what's new with them, and how it can help MVHQ members. So if you're free, 6 p.m. tomorrow. And then, of course, we have Boss Dogs later on today. As usual, we got to hit you guys with the double header of Alpha. So make sure you're there for that as well.
Yeah.
But well, if nothing else, we'll go ahead and cut it here. Thank you, everybody, for rolling through as always. And we'll see you guys at Boss Dogs later today. And then again next week, Monday, 12 Eastern, as always.
Yes, sir. Thanks, y'all.